Hello and welcome to Building a Profitable Photography Business with Sarah. Today we're going to go over 5 tips to start your wedding photography business.
So I wanted to go over what I would suggest to be your 5 priorities when you're starting out as a new wedding photographer. So first of all, I would highly recommend assisting and second shooting for other photographers. So it does a couple of things. One, it builds experience. So building experience is the first part. The second part is with that experience, it's gonna be more comfortable for you, which means your confidence level is gonna be higher when coming to shooting weddings. If you figure out a workflow too, as a second shooter, you have this ability to observe what the other photographer is doing, and you have the ability to figure out what works, what doesn't work, in which situations what to do. Creating this workflow process is going to be instrumental in your success. It is amazing how well things flow when you're able to provide a workflow that goes with the timeline that the bridal planner provides you, and it helps really mainstream your process. Also, as far as being a second shooter and as an assistant, it is a stress-free environment for you to learn and develop your skill and really experiment with your gear, with your lighting, with your posing, with all of that. And finally, it can help build your portfolio. Where you might run into an issue with this is that some photographers don't like to allow their second shooters or their assistants to use those images as portfolio images. So that being said, step 1, start looking for assisting and second shooting. The second thing that I would tell you to do is always communicate with your clients. As a wedding photographer, you are covering the most important day of their lives. That being said, you need to make sure that you communicate exactly what is going to happen. You need to be open and honest with your clients. If you've only photographed 10 weddings and you don't know how to do certain things, you need to let them know. As long as you're open and honest, if it is the right client, they will still book you and they'll understand. And when you go above and beyond, they'll be incredibly grateful. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. And that's the second thing. Never, ever overpromise them. If you aren't sure if you can get the shot, it's better to tell them that you can't do it and then do it and surprise them with it versus promising them that you can do it and then not be able to deliver on that promise. There is nothing worse than overpromising and underdelivering, and it will hurt your business immensely if you do that. And finally, for the communication part, set expectations and follow through. If you tell your bride you're gonna call them a week prior to the wedding and set up a time to go meet with them, make sure you call them and go meet with them. Make sure you communicate with your client. That leads us to the third point. One of the things that I think both new photographers and seasoned pros can do that not only will help you build your wedding business, but really help network and solidify you as a professional is scouting out your venues. And these clients are getting married in a specific venue, I will go and do a tour of that venue, talk to the planner there, talk to their on-staff staff. What this really does is, one, it really builds your confidence with your bride. The fact that you're willing to take time to go to their venue, to scout it out, to make sure that their pictures are going to be perfect, speaks volumes. 2, it shows the venue that you're a professional and they're not going to have to worry about babysitting you. It also helps with creating a relationship with the venue where if I'm walking the grounds on a Thursday afternoon with their on-site planner, she'll be like, oh, you know what? We have this beautiful location. It's right around the back. No one ever goes there. Let me show you, see what you think. And that has opened up so many doors where I am getting access to places and things that other photographers aren't, purely because I've built this relationship by going and visiting my venues. One of the other things, just a quick tip on this, is always leave a business card with them. Always take their business card when you're at a venue, and make sure you email them a thank you. Just a quick little email that says, hey, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it and I'm looking forward to working with you. It just leaves such a good impression with other vendors that they are going to recommend you, and that will help build your business. Number 4, having an assistant or a second shooter with you. Will never ever photograph a wedding without someone else there. So there's a few reasons why I highly suggest having a second shooter, and if you can, an assistant as well. One of them is you will be able to have an insurance policy. Having a second shooter, having another person with a camera there, is the best insurance policy you can possibly have. We work with technology, and technology is very finicky, which means that if something happens to your camera or something happens to your card, or God God forbid your lens freezes and you miss something important, you have another photographer there who is going to be able to capture those moments, and you're not going to be at a loss of trying to explain to your client why you don't have those images. Also, it gives you another perspective. So it's really cool when you're building an album for your clients to be able to show two perspectives of their wedding. Typically, that also helps me upsell them on a bigger album or pages and things like that. So it's an insurance policy. It also takes a little bit of pressure off of you. And what I mean by pressure is that stress of like, I have to make sure that I get every single shot kind of dissipates. It's nice to know that you have a backup. And finally, having two shooters makes your clients feel amazing. The fifth tip that I can give you is having a shot list. We have a pre-made shot list, and if you guys want a copy of that, you're more than welcome to grab a free copy at the link below. It goes through all of the shots that we take at every single wedding. Like, there's also a little section that we have our brides fill in for their must-have shots. But shot lists save my butt so many times. We have the shot list and I have a copy, my second shooter will have a copy, and my assistant will have a copy. And as we go through the day, we make sure that we go through and we're like, all right, we're done with this section. Okay, moving on to the next section. It helps keep track of what we photographed and what we haven't. It creates a game plan for both us and our client. It really helps with the organization of the timeline. So when the wedding planner or the bride or whoever it is who's in charge of our timeline comes to me and says, okay, this is what's gonna happen, this is how things are running down, we can say, okay, this is where we're getting these shots, this is where we're getting these shots. And having the ability to divide those shots into groups and having a physical form helps. I have shot over 200 weddings and I still can't remember all the shots. I will never rely on what's up here to try to help me get everything during a wedding day. Also, the shot list, because we go over it with our client prior, helps us recognize what's really important to our clients. We try to make sure that we're going to make as many people happy as possible, because again, this is a once in a lifetime event. And then it goes back to an insurance policy. We are never going to forget a shot because we have a shot list. So just to go over it and conclude, start out by second shooting and assisting another pro, someone you admire. Communicate with your clients is number 2. Number 3 is scouting your venues and getting into a good working relationship with those vendors. Number 4 is always having an assistant or a second shooter with you. And number 5 is having a shot list that is okayed by your bride and everyone on your team knows exactly what to shoot. Again, if you want a free copy of our shot list that you can obviously change, add to, or whatever, go ahead and go to the link below and download a free copy. And as always, if you guys like this video or you would like to see more of the videos we put out, go ahead and hit the bell button or the notification button and subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Thanks so much.